heritage is us. It's embedded within us. It is a pity that we are living in a country that seems not to be appreciative of its own. We mess up in a sense that we take away what was supposed to be something that came out of our history with pride, and we change it, we mingle it just to appease certain people, and that is where the problem is.
Hello and welcome to Social Life. I'm your host Kilebogile Sekgona, and we're discussing all things heritage. With me today I have Manku Noruka. Did I say it right? Noruka. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kilebogile. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for honoring. Please tell us more about who you are and what you do.
Okay, Manku Noruka is an activist. Manku Noruka is a justice seeker, and I'm currently serving with the White Flag Against Gender-Based Violence NPO, and this is a NPO that we specifically designed that rather than focusing on the aftermath of GBV,
yes,
we are saying what is it that we can bring to the front in preventing GBV. How do we empower the would-be victims, yes, of GBV, and to ensure that they do not end up being victims of GBV. Now, this is the work that we are doing, and it is quite a fulfilling work when you start to see the results and how women are empowered. So it all has to do with women empowerment, but not only women. We're bringing the element of men, yeah, who would have been victims of GBV, yes, and how to upskill them to ensure that they also bring to the front that equal parity, yes, that we have. Yeah.
How do you pinpoint the type of problems that would rather that would lead to an act like that?
Okay. You would find in a situation where a woman is in a relationship with a particular man, and behavioral changes start to occur. Yeah. Now, what we're doing, we start teaching would-be victims to say these are the red flags. When you were in a relationship that was going on so well, yeah, and then all of a sudden then there's a behavioral change. Yes. Then they start to have anger and all that. You start looking at the red flags and say, something is wrong here, yeah, because sometimes it does not even have to go to physical. It can be financial. It can be emotional. So you just need. There'll always be red flags that, yeah, are happening, and this is what you need to pick up. And then we say, okay, fine. You come to a space where we say, okay, fine. Once you've identified that, you, yeah, come to us, and then we say, okay, this is what happened. This is how you can prevent. And in some instances, you find that certain things have already happened, yeah, and we say, yeah, okay, fine. If you know that there's a trend, that you are in a relationship with this particular person who will be going out and drinking at, yes, this particular time, and then they come home, and you know that by the time bangena gating uzwa ngenhlamba, yeah, then you know, yeah, that is a red flag. That is isukile. How do you then change the scene of your house to make it a safe place for you? Find an area where you'll know that, you know what, I'm not going to allow myself to become a victim. Yeah. If it means that me getting out of our bedroom and sleeping in the child's, yeah, room and locking ourselves in the, do that. Just to keep yourself safe, because you know Guti Isugil, there's already a red flag. Because we have identified that victims most of the time, they see the red flags but they ignore, yeah, them. True. So after they've been through the act, then they say, only then that this is usually what happens. So we want them to be very much aware of the the red flags that are there.
Where are you based?
We are currently based in Krugersdorp. We are currently based in Krugersdorp. We are operating. We've rented a smallanyana room in a saloon of another lady, and that's where we're operating.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. For the next few weeks, Social is running a competition where you stand a chance to win yourself a voucher worth 750 Rand from House of Vault. All you have to do is watch our show. Towards the end of every show, a simple question will be asked where you stand a chance to win from House of Vault a voucher worth 750 Rand. The first correct comment on our Facebook page or YouTube channel wins themselves a voucher worth 750 Rand from House of Vault. Good luck. Thanks. Going back to today's topic,
Yes.
heritage. It's Heritage Month. According to you, your view on what heritage is?
Okay. Heritage is not wearing shweshwe and parading on the street.
Yeah.
It's more to do with that. Heritage is not us eating stampa and mkhodi on this particular day.
Yes.
Because it's our staple meals anyway. That's
Yes.
that's what we do. But heritage is understanding the humanity that we are. Is digging deep into the consciousness of who we are, and understanding that I am because you are. Going into the elements of both,
Yeah.
and understanding that once we do that, then we'll talk heritage. Now, each and every nation has got its own heritage. That's what we call umlando.
Yeah.
We do have our own heritage, and unfortunately in our country, our heritage has been mingled up with some apartheid connotations that are always finding themselves in our heritage, that we lose the very fact of who we are, and we fail to go back and trace back our history from where we come from as black people, and acknowledging that certain things we did as black people that were to our benefit. Heritage is us. It's embedded within us. It is a pity that we are living in a country that seems not to be appreciative of its own.
Yeah.
We mess up in a sense that we take away what was supposed to be something that came out of our history with pride, and we change it, we mingle it just to appease certain people. And that is where the problem is, because once we can acknowledge who we are, our children, they would know who they are. But because we mess up so much, we even change that which is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we change it for the benefit of something, of someone and something, that we lose its very essence. Why do you say June 16 is Youth Day? Because when you say it's Youth Day, a child who is born in 2009 would not be able to understand the relationship between June 16 and Youth Day. And when we say we fought for equality in education, we fought for this country to be free, this child cannot fathom why are we saying it's Youth Day. Because to yena Youth Day ifana ne-Christmas. Angithi abantwana nge-Christmas bathola ukudla, bathola impahla zokugqoka and all that. To them it's just an upper version of Christmas Day. Now it's for the youth to dress smart and do all those things, because we are losing the very essence. Now we need to look at that, because once you lose your history, you lose your heritage. Heritage is locked in your history.
So with all that said, how would you say, or rather, how would you like to see Heritage Day itself being celebrated?
I would like Heritage Day to be celebrated in a manner in which is meaningful.
How so?
In a sense that if we have to take our children through classes so that they can understand who we are, they can understand the type of public holidays that we have, why are we having them, what is the significance of that, then we'll be doing something that is of importance. I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying this. I interact a lot with the youth, and our youth, they don't understand what is happening in their country and all that. A typical example, this thing that to say that the victor in a war is the one that will tell the history. Now let me show you something. You speak about a person of Steve Biko, who is so great in the history of black people. You go to a textbook, it's a paragraph like this. It cannot be right. Then you look at the month of July, what happens in our schools. It's because of Mandela Day. There's activity. Yes. Children, they know that, especially in primary, it's Mandela Day on 67 minutes and all that. It's been drummed up onto them. Yes. But is it really fair? Are we really losing some of our leaders that contributed immensely to what you call this freedom that we have now, because those particular leaders, their organizations are not in power? Because that is what it comes up to. So we need to create a link between our history, our politics, our being, our very being, so that we can have a proper cohesive heritage, and not only limit it to us wearing it. Look, us wearing the shwe and all that, it's great, it's wonderful, they identify ourselves, but let's wear them with an understanding. How does language fit into this? Yes. Now, language fit into this because for you to understand me better, you speak my language, then I, number one. Now, we are missing out on the positivity of our languages. We tend to look at our negatives. When you are a Mosotho or a Motswana speaking person, and you come across a person that speaks Tshivenda, a person would, like, their minds automatically they raise to say, oh, what's a Venda, and all that. But we fail to look at the underlying. Our languages are so wonderful, in a sense that whether you actually understand the language or not, but there's going to be some similarities that you can pick up, that you know that this person is doing this. But we tend to say, I don't understand. You shut yourself. I don't understand Sivenda. I don't understand this. But if for the mere fact that isiZulu neXhosa, they are related, and once you understand one, you can understand the one. The other. When you speak Sepedi, you can understand Sivenda, you can understand Sitsonga, if you open your mind to it. But we fail to do that.
But wouldn't you say, Leronako, within our households itself, doesn't it stem from that to say, the other people, other cultures, or other people who speak differently or who live differently?
No, it does a lot, and this is where our politics need to come into being. I like what Steve Biko and the whole entourage that was serving with him, they moved away from the issue of tribalism. They moved into a sense to say, let's go black consciousness. You must understand that we are both black. And blackness is not a question of pigmentation, but it goes beyond that. Now, in our homes, you buy, somebody's going to pick up my age. You buy Fanta orange, then they say, cold drink Mashangan. Why?
Yes.
Why? Yes. Those are the kind of things that we really need. And now, we say it in front of these children. And then they go out, they see Fanta Orange, somebody passing by, I saw the Fanta Orange. Yo, get a changan.
Yes.
You know, we lose the whole element of us being. So it comes back to us. And now there's a new phenomenon that we are doing. We are not only undermining the other tribes, but now we are introducing a new thing into our being. We are introducing a English at the Model C schools. Where ngwana ke Katlego, but when you ask her, Katlego, I'm Katlego. Huh? I'm Katlego. Ngwana una le problem, they don't even understand. You are Katlego. No, I'm Katlego. Because there's a teacher there in their school who said to them, Katlego. Or Katlego. Katlego. Yeah, they say Katlego. I'm Katlego. So you know those kind of things. So and for some reason we get to celebrate that and say, yo that child can speak English. What makes this child much more why are we not encouraging that this child should be able to respect other people from other languages and all that? I'm still waiting for South Africa to introduce languages like Swahili into our schools, because rather than doing the Katlego thing, we rather go over Swahili. That's me. That's what I believe our heritage should be like.
We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Still in conversation with Manku. Manku, how did we get here? What led us to a place Erling Moyona Khoniano?
Because South Africa has been under apartheid, and when the architects of apartheid started this whole thing, they started to dehumanize and talk bad about everything that us as African people used to do. And they introduced their way of life, which they specifically wrote it to become as it's the correct way of life. And we went in the hook sink, and we just fall into the thing. So that is where our problem is. And we need to go back. We need to go back and say, we have picked up that there were wrongs that were done. We have picked up that in the process we have been very much hurt, because we had failed to follow us from being us. We need to go back now and reclaim our things. We need to go back and identify that, okay, fine. What is it about us that makes us so unique, that makes us so beautiful? And that is where we need to go. So, because we have allowed elements in us, that is where we went wrong. And I don't think that we had much of a choice. The system forced us to go that route. Because if you were not being part of the system, then jail time, exile, and all those things were for you. And now the very people that went to jail, exile, and all that, when they came back, they failed to say, actually, the reason why we went to exile and we took jail time was to reverse some of the things. Now they come back, they still carry on doing the things, and that is where our problem is at.
Okay, I hear you. But then again, within our private spaces, can't we be correcting those?
We should actually be doing that. We should be doing that, but how do I correct something that nobody has taught me or has made me aware that this thing is wrong? There's a whole lot of education that we need to do. we've got our people thinking that they're doing the right things, whereas they're actually doing wrong things. For a mere fact that we allow certain cultures to be predominantly in our homes, it means that there's something wrong. So we need to correct that, and we can only correct that when we start to educate. There can never be a time when you cannot, where you say our people are educated enough. Our people have been robbed of their very fiber, of their very being, that they do not see things that are wrong. I would make you an example. A child that is taking drugs today, they think what they're doing is right. But unless you take that child out of that space and put them elsewhere, and you reteach, only then this child will identify that actually that I was doing was wrong. But currently, if you can do all the other things to that child does not see that what they're doing is wrong. That is where we are now.
Sad realities. So personally, within your space, within the work that you do with the community itself and the youth, what are you doing differently in correcting the wrongs that we were facing?
I'm glad that you asked that. We recently went to Limpopo, where we were saying, okay, fine. There used to be an existence of a co-op of women that were under Imbeleko.
Yes.
And they used to bake their own bread, they used to plant their own food and all that. And that project failed. So we went to interview the old gogos and sat down with them and said what had gone wrong. And they explained to us that, they grew older, the youth was not interested and all that. So we went back and said, let us revive that. In us reviving that project, we are empowering the next woman. We are with us doing back to do those projects, that the candles that they were doing. We are empowering another young boy who would have been unemployed, doing nothing and thinking of drugs, but now they've got something to do. They're sitting there, they're manufacturing candles to say, I want with this candle, let me be the light. Now, this is what we are doing. We are also bringing back, when you go to Nkomakhayin, you learn wonderful things. They've got seeds. These particular seeds, when you look at them, you'll think that they're pumpkin seeds. But it is actually a hybrid of a pumpkin and a watermelon. And they come up with another wonderful fruit. That is so nice.
Wow.
So we are bringing up all those things because we are learning. And when you talk heritage, it is a baton that is given from one generation to the next. Had we not gone there and learned what the old gogos were doing, we would not be empowered to do what we are doing. And also it is now a baton that we need to give to the next generation. And in our very culture as black people, but we need to start now at documenting the things that we are doing. And I'm glad that I'm called into this platform, because this is part of documenting. Because some of the things we lost because we did not write. So it was taken in verbatim from one generation to the next.
Another.
But as it goes along the way, it becomes
The
distorted.
translation is lost.
And that is where we are at. So we don't want the lost in translation kind of a things. We want to bring things as they are.
Competition time. Today's question is, where is the White Flag organization based? The first correct comment on our Facebook page or YouTube channel wins themselves a voucher worth 750 rands from House of Fault.
So a lot can happen in in the space of heritage. I'm glad, even our hairstyles, we're bringing back Benny and Betty. Those kind of things are nice.
Yeah.
Because had we not reclaimed our hair,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing Benny and Betty. You wouldn't have been cutting your hair. You'd feel you are ugly when you are cutting your hair. But
true.
now it's acceptable.
Yeah.
We are able to embrace you and accept you for who you are. And the fiber of us, of our blackness,
But
comes into
would
being.
you say society also plays a role as a whole in how a child
Is brought up.
is brought up and how they see themselves, as beautiful and identifying themselves?
I like African idioms. When you say the child is brought up by a village, it's exactly that. Because what we are doing now, we have lost our fiber of being a village to our children. Our children, they are children of this house.
Yeah.
When they get out of that yard, they are not the children of the next mother. And that is where the
Yes.
problem is, because the next mother would be looking at this child and seeing something that is wrong that this child is doing, that the mother of this particular house who's
Doesn't
sitting doesn't see. And we need her to be able to correct with love and say, Nana, this is not how you do things. Now, small things, they make us to lose ourselves. And this is what we need to bring back. This is what we need to bring back when we talk true heritage.
Yeah.
Let it trickle down. Let it come from the top and say, okay, fine, we are giving that baton. But along the way, let us look that haven't we lost something there and bring back the true history. Because it's all about history. You cannot have it any other way.